Breaking news that I've just searched.
What?
Nathan Collins is out for the game.
Can we get a moment of silence?
I don't even see him always conducting and controlling the game. I'm seeing people running past him. I'm seeing the game go past him too many times. You're not a 6. Then he went to 10. He's not a 10. Now he's in the 8. And I'm looking at Chelsea and Conor Gallagher's looking better than you. You had the opportunity. You hired David Moyes. Fergie, thank you very much, mate. Just sit back. We love you. We love you. Just come and enjoy Manchester United, man. Just enjoy, bro.
Yo, it's your boy H Black the Sauce, Harry Panera, and welcome back to the Inside Scoop with me and the one and only Culture Cams.
Yes.
Yeah, we wasn't here last week. Things happened. You know, we get real busy sometimes. To be honest, it was actually Cam's fault, but we forgive him. And we move forward.
This guy was talking about, I'm ill.
You know, yeah, I need
mum's pepper soup.
No, I've got mum's pepper soup and it's serious. I had to go mumsies and get that. But listen, guys, the international break actually came at the right time because there was no Premier League football.
Yeah.
And not to say this is just a Premier League show, but yeah, international football is a bit horror show. But England have been qualified. But yeah, we move. Anyway, Premier League is back.
Don't forget to tell them, like, share, subscribe.
No, but they should. The thing is, telling them and they're not doing it right now. Like, I feel like I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to just subscribe.
Simple. And like.
And just comment.
It's not hard.
I want the person that says first, that person means so much to me. Because that person actually cares.
We'll see who gets there, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
We're looking out for the first. But anyway, Premier League football is back, Cams.
Yes.
We're going to talk about some of the fixtures, our views on some of the players, of course, that have been doing well, not really doing too well, and our views on who's going to win and whatnot. So what's the first game that we've got?
The blockbuster. The blockbuster of the Premier League. You know what they've been calling this era? They've been calling this era the City Pool era, right?
I think that's a cap.
Yeah.
Bro, Liverpool have won it once.
Yeah, I know, but you know.
But it's the only team.
Challenges and all that, you know what I'm saying? But it's a City Pool era, and again, the Premier League is set up. Well, obviously Arsenal are joint points, but right now it's first versus second, as we've been so familiar with. Obviously, Man City versus Liverpool. Saturday, 12:30 kickoff after an international break. Both managers are not happy about that, first of all, especially Klopp. But what do you think going into that one? Because as I mentioned, City 3 wins in their last 5, Liverpool 3 wins in their last 5. 1 point off, 17 plus goal difference for Liverpool, 20 plus goal difference for Man City. Liverpool have conceded the least amount of goals in the Premier League. City have scored the most amount of goals in the Prem. So this is like perfectly matched, bro. Perfectly evenly matched. What are you saying, bro? What are you saying? Because, bro, I can't predict it right now. I'm going to be trying to predict it through the episode.
I think if this happened later on in the season, I would say this was like a very important game. Yeah. I think this is just really just to put a stamp on which team is obviously ascending the most out of them two. But I would say, like you said, over the last 3 years, they've probably been the 2 best teams in the Premier League. I'm always going to go with City as favourites because I just feel like...
At the Etihad as well.
Yeah, at the Etihad. I just feel like as a team, they are just well-drilled. They've got a great balance in their team right now. And this is a team that's playing without KDB as well. I feel we've seen how important Rodri is into that team. He's kind of like a defensive attacker. It's kind of like that. Doku has been incredible. He had 4 assists in his last, I think the
2 games ago.
So I think going into that, they're going to be more confident. Haaland started to get on the score sheet as well. But I'll also say Liverpool have been really, really good. I think, with the fact that, they've lost a lot of the players that were essentially, doing really well. Key to their Premier League win even. But I'm really, really happy with, even though he's not playing or scoring as much goals as we'd like him to, Darwin Núñez. I think, for me, his finishing is a bit questionable. The way he is able to assist, I think the only player he's assisted this season is Mohamed Salah.
I think that was the case last season as well.
Yeah, I think them two together work really, really well.
Yeah.
I would like, though, personally, to see Trent play in midfield.
You want to Trent play in midfield?
Do you know why, though? Look, and I know Klopp's system is completely different to Southgate, yeah? But I don't think that Trent is incredible as a defender. But I feel like in terms of his passing and his understanding of the game, I think he is so vital for what England can be. But also, more importantly, I think for Liverpool, there's a way in which they play with like an inverted right back. Where, you know, he's actually in midfield when they're attacking, and then defensively he goes back. I think if we see a bit more of that, that will be key for that midfield, because I think City's midfield,
you have to overload it.
You have to, because they have so much like key players. And Bernardo Silva. There's that for me will be the problem there for Liverpool. But if, in my opinion, I think it will be a Man City win. But it doesn't mean anything in terms of where the title's going to go to for me personally.
Haaland is out. Well, not confirmed, but he dropped out of Norway.
Do you reckon that's just precaution because of the game that's coming up this weekend?
Yeah, they're already pretty much out. Yeah, I don't think Edison. He at the same time he pulled out. There's doubts about Kovacic, Ake, and Nunes, and obviously KDB and John Stones are out. So City are actually missing quite a few players. But one thing we know is that City have and Pep know how to work things, bro. Rico Lewis can just slip in, and it is what it is. But I don't know, like, with this game, for some reason, even though it's at the Etihad, I don't know. I just think Liverpool are going to get a result. I just have this weird feeling. When you mentioned Trent in midfield quickly, I still prefer him as a right back, bro.
Why do you say that?
Look, this might sound harsh, but Trent, for me, was a world-class right back, a game-changing right back. Sometimes the game used to go through him. The Liverpool system, a lot of it was down to Robertson and Trent down them flanks, right? Devastating. The assists, they were breaking all sorts of defensive assists and Premier League assists and all this type of stuff. But so I think when you have somebody that's an A-star right back, yes, he's not that good defensively, but an A-star right back, is he an A-star centre midfielder? I don't believe so. I think you got A-star right back and you're moving him into midfield to be a B minus CM. Like, would you say he's top 10 centre midfielder in the Premier?
No, what I would say is
he's the best right back in the league.
I would say
in his best form, in my opinion.
I would disagree, just because I think there's a Kyle Walker that's still playing football. Yeah.
Do you think he's better than Trent?
Defensively, yeah. I think for pace.
Yeah, but is he?
Look, Doku on that side against Trent. That's a cooking. Awaiting to happen. And I think the cover that he needs from whoever's going to be playing as the right centre back is very, very important. But when I mean about transition, you need quick transition in midfield, to be able to beat Man City and their press. And I think with Trent, he has that pass that can skip 6 or 7 players. And I think when he's in and around that midfield, obviously they've got Szoboszlai and McAllister's role since he signed to Liverpool's kind of not been what he's not been for Brighton. But I do agree with you. I think he's better suited in right back just because he's played there more of his life. But if you ask him where he wants to play and where I think we can get more from him, I think it would be in midfield, but also still being able to, if they do the inverted right back, and I think for me, like with the likes of Doku's more of a threat than I think people are expecting, because he's so quick and you just don't know what he's going to do. Whereas with Jack Grealish, the way he's more methodical and and that's not how Jack Grealish plays. No. You know what I'm trying to say? So it all depends on how they set up. But I do believe that, yes, Trent is a great right back. Not the greatest, but he is a great right back. And I think, you know, for him to be world class again, the defensive side of it needs to. And I think if he does play right back and Doku has a great game against Doku, that is a great way for him to now kick on. But what do you think about Liverpool's midfield? Because we're talking about Man City's midfield. We know about it. We don't need to go into depth about that. But Liverpool's midfield, how do you reckon they can set up in order to be able to actually level up? Because we saw what happened with the Chelsea Man City game. I think Gallagher played really well. Caicedo, that was a good game from him as well, and then Cole Palmer was kind of like in and around the midfield as well, and you can see that they caused them problems. What do you reckon Liverpool need to play?
I think this is, on paper, this is the hardest game for Liverpool, and that sounds crazy because obviously Man City is a tough team, but there's some teams, as you just mentioned, like Chelsea, who Caicedo, Gallagher, Enzo, they can get around these guys. That might not be the toughest matchup for them in midfield, but for Liverpool, you're looking at their midfield and you're thinking, Szoboszlai is going to have to do a lot of defensive work. McAllister is going to have to... Now, listen, McAllister's not a 6. And one thing we've seen, you can see it, because he's not very athletic and he's not very defensive-minded, he picks up yellow cards because he's a yard off. He's chasing. He's not meant to be in them open spaces, chasing man down. So he's always a little bit of a yard off. And if you get an early yellow against Man City or something, you're dead. Do you know what I mean? So I do worry for that midfield. I think they're going to have to get Gravenberch in there. Just for the legs. just for legs. But is he a defensive?
That's what I was going to say.
No.
Don't you think it takes away a bit of the... Not to say he's not a quality player, but I feel like he's better further forward in midfield rather than...
He is
trying to stop.
But who's
players.
the option? Curtis Jones. Now I like Curtis Jones, but is he much different in the sense where he's going to offer something completely different to Gravenberch in that respect? So I think Klopp has a massive decision to make. I do think he's going to try and bring Trent in midfield a little bit to kind of create a double pivot, as we just mentioned. But City are the masters at that, bro. City, not saying they're the ones that introduced it to the league, but they're the ones that mastered it. So you're going to try and basically go, as we say, machine for machine with Liverpool in midfield. With City in midfield. I don't know. That's my worry. But do you know where I'm confident for Liverpool? It's going that way, bro.
Yeah.
Mo Salah. Darwin. Jota, who... Listen, I'm not a big fan of Jota, but I call him Jammy Jota because... bro.
Jammy Jota is crazy.
Bro, Jammy Jota because I don't think he's a great player, but he's going to score goals. He's a good finisher. His aerial ability is very good for someone of his height as well. He's an intelligent player. Is he going to go with Luis Diaz, who post-kidnap Diaz?
I think he has to go Diaz.
Since that... situation.
Pops,
Thank you that his dad's back and all that, alive and well. He's been going crazy, fam.
He even scored when his dad was still
held captive,
bro. Like, against was it Luton?
Luton. So you're looking at that, You got if I would personally start Darwin, I keep saying it. I said it on FCM. Darwin and Salah could be the new 1-2 punch of the Premier League, bro. That instinctive connection. We've seen it with Cole and York and Berg, all these guys. I think they could potentially be that. So I'm thinking that the vertical running of Salah, Darwin, and Luis Diaz,
it's a nightmare.
That is where the problem. But I think Liverpool will have to bypass their midfield.
100%.
I think so. When you talk about Trent, he will be important. Them long balls over the top and stuff, I think is going to be important today. That'd be against Man City. So I don't know. I just wouldn't try the midfield battle. Because City are just supreme there.
Just play to Liverpool's strengths.
Play to your own strengths. You've got, as we just mentioned, the forward line, but you're talking about City. They got Bernardo, who's mentioned. They got Rodri. They got Foden, who comes into midfield. If Jack Grealish plays, he's going to be wanting to retain. Well. Alvarez likes to take up them areas as well. They've got so many options of technical players that I just don't think you can match up with them. Go be what Liverpool used to be now. You can't just revert to type.
No, of course.
But Pep is absolutely shook of Liverpool when they're ferocious, when they're fast, when Mane was running, when Salah was running. That's what he hates, bro. That's what every Pep team hate that way. So I just think Liverpool should avoid that. I want to talk about somebody, though, in the Liverpool team before we maybe go on somebody at Man City. But the guy behind you,
Virgil.
Pause. Got him. But
I said it with vim as well. God damn.
But Virgil van Dijk. Yeah. Now, talk to me about Virgil van Dijk because obviously he had that ACL injury.
Yeah.
I personally think I actually commended him for coming back from that ACL injury and still being a good centre half.
Yeah.
So at his age, because some people could have. Literally, at his age, you're getting, if you bust your ACL at 30, mate, sign them papers, mate. You're done for your career. You know what I'm trying to say? But he came back at a good level. And I was like, okay, he's good, but he's not peak Van Dijk. But this season, he's gone back to looking, now I wouldn't say peak Van Dijk because that was nearly untouchable levels. But he's gone back to looking one of the best in the Premier League again.
Now, I think for me, when I interviewed him, I think that's when things changed. I spoke to him, I said to him, brother, look, Take some advice from me. I told him to go watch my Sidemen charity performance. I told him to look. It's not about the pace. It's about the mind. No, but jokes aside, I just wanted to get that in there that I met him. But no,
we can see, mate. It's signed. Yeah, what did it say again?
To the one and only Harry Pinero, you'll never walk alone. Yeah, that's what it says. But yeah, no. So with Virgil, I remember when you had your doubts about him, and I think he's a victim of his own success because he was literally one of the best defenders, if not the best defenders in the world.
Of course, he was the best defender.
Like that was something that we all understood. Like he wouldn't break a sweat. He didn't need to slide tackle. And I think when I look at the careers that I feel like he can have, I look at like Thiago Silva. Now Thiago Silva's 39 years of age, and he's still putting in incredible performances. I think with the fact that he's had the ACL injury, I think himself will know that maybe I cannot afford to have another one of those. I know you never know how football goes. Sometimes it happens. It could be a freak accident.
Yeah.
But I think he's gone back to the basics of what made him the best defender in the world. You're seeing the way he's timing his challenges. You're seeing the way he's leading as a leader with his performances. His distribution is one of the best in the world anyway, as from a defender anyway. So I feel like the basis of what he is as a player has been implemented. I feel like if Van Dijk doesn't have a good game, that Liverpool backline leaks goals.
Yeah,
and I think you obviously got one of the best keepers in the world with Alisson, and I'm sure that all Van Dijk needs is another world-class centre-back, and it's over. I think that back four will now be secure. Because you look at it like with last season with Man City, when they had the likes of Stones, shout out to Joe Bear, just walked in, Congolese.com, white to the T.
All white,
yeah,
bruv.
the guy doesn't know that this is actually, we're in winter, you know.
Bro.
But he's in Kinshasa right now. Yeah, let's just get the
Yo, mate. Jesus.
There we go.
Man looking
Joe
like...
Bear.
Bro, that's some Eddie Caddy drip.
Yeah. But So for me, I think with Van Dijk, as the seasons go on, I think he just needs to just stay the way he is right now.
Yeah.
Just composed, because he's a composed defender. He's not a rash defender. He's not
Got a question then.
an aggressive defender.
Is he back to being the best centre half in the Premier League?
I think we'll have to wait until the season's done.
The whole season?
Yeah.
You need to, so who's the best centre back in the Premier League?
I think right now Saliba. I think Saliba is the best defender in the Premier League right now. And I would also say, I think he's the best in Europe. And the reason why I say that is because I don't see a defender in any team in the world of football right now that is actually the reasons why their team is really winning. Because Saliba gives a calming presence for the midfielders. It's like you can also trust that when that, if I do miss that player and he goes, Saliba's there. And I think Saliba makes Gabriel look good. Van Dijk makes every defender that he plays with better. So I feel like for Van Dijk to get back to that level again, we've got to see to the end of the season. I think when we see Liverpool against Arsenal again, you see who is the best defender in those games. Because I judge players based off
the highest level
games, innit? You can play against a low level team and defend well against them because the players ain't the best. But against top quality players, because that's what he was doing when we was calling him the best, we shall see. But I think he's definitely back to not his best, but he's getting there. Yeah, 100%.
Well, what a better way to try and prove that than playing against potentially, we don't know if he's going to be fit, but Erling Haaland. I think there's 2 teams that Haaland hasn't scored against in the Premier League. I can't remember the other one, but one of them is Liverpool. Never got a goal against Van Dijk. What do you think in the Premier League? Anyway, I don't know if he got one for Salzburg or anything, but for Man City, he hasn't scored against Liverpool. And Van Dijk, when last season Van Dijk was having a bit of a season, at Anfield, he came alive for the Haaland game. He locked
That's his
Haaland.
Bro, look, I'm not just saying this because he's my guy, but we saw Rudiger locked Haaland. I don't think there's a certain type of player you have to be able to control Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland's one of those players where he will go quiet in a game, one chance he's going to score, or he'll score a penalty. I think for Haaland,
you got to match him physically. You have to
literally be onto him and not allow him to breathe. And that's not something very easy to do. So I think with Van Dijk, it will be a very, very good matchup. I think they're relatively the same height. I think Van Dijk's probably a bit stronger because you never really see him get barged off the ball. With Haaland, you've seen certain players give him a tough game. Van Dijk obviously is a bit older, so the experience will play a part into it. But Haaland, running in behind, he's frightening. And he's an incredible finisher. So for me, Haaland just needs one chance. So I think Van Dijk's got to be on the game 24/7, and I want to know who he's going to be his partner. If it's Joe Gomez, Joe Gomez needs to be on it. And Joe Gomez,
I think it'll be Matip personally.
Yeah, Matip for me. There was a time where Matip and Van Dijk
was an elite
the best partnership in the Premier League at one stage, innit?
Yeah.
He's also suffered injuries as well.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan of Haaland, but I also feel like he sometimes can be tamed.
Tamed. Okay, cool. All right, let's get to prediction, Man City versus
You kind of messed me up there a bit, brother.
With
the Liverpool, because I do believe that front three, for me, on form, is better than the Man City front three right now that they've got available. With Doku, Alvarez, and Haaland. Yeah,
and Foden's on the wings, obviously.
Foden on the wings, whatever. But I just think as a team, I think Man City and because it's at the Etihad, I think that they'll do a number on them. I think it'll probably be a little bit of a high scoring game.
You reckon?
I think, it won't be like 1-0 or something like that. I think these teams will both go for it. So I will go 3-2 Man City.
3-2.
Yeah.
Key man,
I think it will be, it's between Bernardo Silva or Rodri, but I'm going to go Bernardo Silva.
I was thinking that as well. But I'm going to go 2-2. I think Liverpool are getting a result.
Okay.
I think Liverpool are getting a result. I don't know why, but I think so. I know they haven't got a good record at the Etihad, but I fancy them to get something out of it. I'm going to say key man. I will go Virgil. I think he'll have a good game and Liverpool will get a result. So let's move on anyway. 2-2 for that one. Let's see if that comes through. We need to soon start doing like some form of
watch-alongs.
No, we got to do watch-alongs, and we need to do some form of tallying our predictions.
What watch-alongs do you want to do one this weekend if you can? Or are you busy? Let me
see. I'm looking.
No. I just wanted to know like that.
Look at putting me on the spot. I have to get back to you with that one, man. I got to check my calendar, mate.
Look at me, what?
What did I say?
Putting you on the. I ain't putting you on the spot. Chat to your boy, man.
Newcastle Chelsea.
Yeah.
So 2 of the teams in the Premier League with the most injuries alongside Man United. Man United and Chelsea both have 10 injuries each. Newcastle have the most in the Premier League with 14 injuries.
I saw a stat that we also have had 14 injuries.
Yeah, for the season.
But currently, oh wow,
we have
crazy.
10 out.
Yeah.
Chelsea have 10 out, and they have 14 out currently.
Yeah.
So I can't even predict what 11 is going to be out there for Liverpool. I mean, for Newcastle, so I'm not even going to bother doing that.
Yeah.
But going into this game, Newcastle, they're not really hitting the heights we thought they potentially could.
Nah.
Because I remember when the season started, it was looking like, it's going to be bad for them because they had that tough run of fixtures. And then they started picking up form again, and you're thinking, okay, Newcastle are back in the groove. But then the form has dropped a little bit again, and Newcastle are actually, who would have thought, behind Man United. Do you know what I mean? And Man United are having the worst season of all time, and Newcastle are this resurgent, fast and furious Toon Army, and they're 7th. So, what do you think about them right now? We'll get into Chelsea, but Newcastle sitting in 7th at home though. You know, at their home ground, it gets peak over there. Yeah. So, do you think they can get? Do you think they'll beat Chelsea?
Yeah, because I feel like over the season we've seen that Chelsea's best games have been against the most toughest opposition. They played really well against Arsenal. They kind of gave the game away towards the end of it. Played really well against Man City. So I think with Newcastle, injuries are the reasons why we're having this conversation. I think when we were speaking about Newcastle last season, the season before that, they had a full team to pick from. You know, Wilson, Isak, Almiron, Joe Willock, like a lot of them. These are all players that were Botman, Dan Burn. Like the team was kind of like stacked with talent. But now we're seeing them kind of filter down because of the fact that they don't have that intensity anymore. So you're asking the youth players to come into a system that was set up for a certain level of play. So it's only right that we see them like this. I think what will help them in this game is the fact that they're playing at St. James's Park, which is a very, very hard stadium to go to and get a result. But you mentioned about Chelsea. Chelsea, I think what I've seen and what I've really enjoyed about them this season is that when the occasion is a bit higher and the stakes are a bit higher, they've provided very, very good games.
To it,
And I think they're in a great vein of form right now. I think they're much better than we expected them from the way they started this season. So I would still feel like Chelsea will have more quality to be able to win. I think the fact that, you know, Reece James is back. I think Thiago Silva's been great. Disasi's been good. Like, the team just looks much better. Raheem Sterling's been playing incredible football.
Poch can pick his 11 now.
Cole Palmer's
it's like
there.
11 is starting
Nico Jackson's getting these jammy goals as well.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if they'll play. Of course they won't. But Nkuku and Lavia are now back in training as well. So I think Chelsea's getting better and better. And I just think that they are more suited to win this game just because of the fact that a lot of the star players from Newcastle you know, are not playing. But it's the Premier League and anything can happen. So I do feel like Newcastle still have a chance to do it. It's not a bad team, but the fact that the levels have dropped, that could make it much more easier for Chelsea to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the team that started against Bournemouth. I don't know how many players have come back, if they even have any players that have come back, but Joe Linton, left wing, Anthony Gordon up top, Almiron, Joe Willock, Miley an academy player.
Good player though.
Miley.
Yeah, he's very good. He's I think he's 17 or 18. Really good.
But they're having to rely on the academy, which is kind of tough for them. Longstaff, Lewis Hall, Shaw, Lascelles. Lascelles wasn't playing at all last season. It was Botman. You had Dan Burn in there. You had Bruno G in there and stuff. But not even that. You look at their bench. Read out their bench. Matt Ritchie. Brother, that guy has been about for like 35 years, by the way. Yeah. Emil Kraft, Livramento, Ben Parkinson, Dubravka, Paul Dummett, Mark Gillespie, Amadou Diallo, who I thought played for Manchester United. But
hey.
And Alex Murphy. Like these man's numbers are 49, 63, and 54. They're all like academy boys and stuff. So they are literally bone dry with
So what do you reckon it's going to take for Newcastle to get a result then? Because
the fans. Honestly, passion, fans, and try and overrun Liverpool. But I mean, overrun Chelsea. That's the only thing I could say. But Chelsea, for me, in a game like this, as I said, they're walking into this 3 p.m. kickoff away from home against Newcastle. I think they're going to go in there after getting a result against City, after beating Spurs away. I think they're going to go in there and just be calm. I think they're going to be calm. As you mentioned, they're getting their 11 now. Before, we were like, who's going to play? I can possibly predict their lineup now. And that is, when a manager's able to do that, perfect. We have that issue at United. We don't really know what our lineup is right now. We've seen that with when Arsenal weren't going too well. We've seen it when Klopp last season, too many changes, too much rotation. But now, your fixed 11 Chelsea have, and the most important part, we always say midfield is the most important part of the pitch. That's where Chelsea are the most settled at the moment. Enzo, Caicedo, Conor Gallagher. We know they're going to play.
Can I get some reparations, though?
On
Conor Gallagher.
Why? What's the reparations that you want?
Because I remember saying to you, brother.
But when you and Joey Knight were going on like he's flipping,
shout out to Joey Knight.
They were going on like he's Lampard.
No. Because I'm gonna give you a my bad right now, yeah, and you need to give me a my bad, yeah.
All right.
Nathan Collins. All right. Look, guys. I had no issue with Nathan Collins.
No.
Let me finish.
Go on.
I said that Nathan Collins, I said you was putting him on a pedestal that was too high for the man. And then I'm looking at FPL. Every week, Donny's either a clean sheet. He's even scoring. So I said, you know what? He's an integral part of why Brentford are doing well this season. But I've also, in that same breath, said that Conor Gallagher is arguably one of the most important players in that Chelsea team. The reason why Chelsea are having this success or they're overrunning teams is because of Conor Gallagher. It's not Caicedo. It's not Enzo Fernandez. It's him. Without him in that team, Cole Palmer does. How many times has Cole Palmer received the ball in a position where, you know, maybe he
dangerous
wasn't
position.
It's Conor Gallagher, bro. So I just want some.
We'll call it truce.
This is a truce, man.
We'll call it truce.
This is
the
a
first
truce.
truce of the season.
That's it. That's what I want.
Let me catch you slipping with another one.
No, bro. Don't let me catch you slipping. Yeah, on those pitches. But yeah, so Conor Gallagher, Cole Palmer.
Yeah,
these are England players. Yeah. Do you reckon? Yeah, I know this is not about the game and stuff. Yeah. Do you reckon if they continue this way, they've got a shout to be in the Euros?
Conor Gallagher's going. Gallagher's going. I think he's 100% going to the Euros. Palmer is the question mark because he's kind of like a wild card. You know what I mean? Because Saka's already there.
Yeah.
I think Rashford's still going to go regardless of his form. I think he's definitely going to go. I think Jack Grealish is going to go. I think who am I missing out on? Foden's going to go. Obviously the strikers, forget strikers, but those are the people who can go. Now it's between Palmer and Raheem Sterling. Now is Sterling going to get back into the team? They're on the same team. He called up Palmer, not Sterling. So Sterling would be a both side option, right wing or left wing. You know what I mean? So he's obviously got a little bit more of the versatility. So does he want to lean towards Raheem Sterling? But I don't know. If Cole Palmer keeps up this form, then he might have to find a way to get him into the team because I said it, like people are calling for people like Ward-Prowse and all that. I'd rather take a wild card in a Palmer or a Rico Lewis or whatever. But that's another conversation. If he keeps up the form, it's going to be hard to deny him. But we have seen Southgate deny people in top form.
Yeah.
We've seen him deny Maddison in top form. When Jack Grealish was literally one of the best Premier League players in the Premier League at Aston Villa, he was not getting called up. Goes to City. He's a regular, mate. He's whether his form is good or bad, he's there every single call up. So it's a little bit confusing what Southgate is going to do, but Conor Gallagher is definitely going to go. And I think, to be fair to him, he'll be useful. Last 20, or even, who knows, you got You got France. You got France in the semis. You need someone just to battle a little bit. I wouldn't mind playing Conor Gallagher. You know what I'm saying? I definitely would want him ahead of Jordan Henderson.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, and Calvin Phillips. You know what I mean? So, Conor Gallagher, he deserves it. He deserves it. Cole Palmer will see. And everybody knows I've been a fan of that guy from academy, bro.
Yeah.
Dumb baller. Dumb baller. This has nothing got to do with his quality.
It's that St. Kitts,
bro,
man.
yes, exactly.
It's that St. Kitts, man.
Nothing to do with his quality. It's just we're having to think like we're Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
And he's got decisions to make. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about one player at Chelsea that I think is going under the radar, not in a good way. I think that's Enzo Fernandez.
Yep. Talk about it. I think if Declan Rice, Caicedo ain't been the greatest, but I think if Declan Rice had started his whole career at Arsenal in the same exact fashion as Enzo Fernandez, he'll be getting called Basmati Rice. He's this English tax, fraud. He's a centre-back playing in centre midfield. We saw what happened to Paul Pogba. I'm sorry. Pogba's first season especially was clear of Enzo Fernandez, anything Enzo Fernandez had done. And he was a laughing stock of the country. And Pogba was levels above Enzo Fernandez. And I'm not even Pogba's biggest fan. I think he's going under the radar for not impacting Chelsea enough. I don't think, don't get it twisted, I don't want goals from him. Yeah, I mean, but I don't even see him always conducting and controlling the game. I'm seeing people running past him. I'm seeing the game go past him too many times. I'm thinking, ain't you meant to be this metronome kind of player? People told me when you're playing 6, you're not a 6. Then he went to 10. He's not a 10. Now he's in the 8. And I'm looking at Chelsea and Conor Gallagher's looking better than you. Nah. I'm not having that, bro. He was a world record fee until Caicedo popped that. Yeah.
Why is he not getting? I'm not trying to invite slander onto him, but
no, of course.
That's going under the radar.
Yeah, you're right.
Jack Grealish, 100 million. He was getting battered left, right, and centre on his first season. Where's the same energy for Enzo?
I think with Enzo, his standout performance was against Liverpool. Yeah. That performance that he had against Liverpool, and I think
in a dry debut game of the season.
Yeah, and I think for me, with Enzo, the reason why it's looking worse is because Chelsea haven't been playing incredibly well, but they're now starting to, and he's not one of the players that are standing out. I think also when you look at where he's playing, like you said, now he's playing in the 8. That's where the creativity is supposed to stem from. And because it's not happening, I don't see him in the games really doing anything apart from passing it to players who then do good things, innit? And I think that's more what Gallagher should be doing. Gallagher's going above and beyond, driving with the ball, creating space, tackling players. He's doing none of that stuff. So I think this game is a good game for him to start dominating because it's against a lesser Newcastle team. And I think what you'll find in the Premier League and what we've seen over the years that we've been watching the Premier League is that the Premier League isn't a forgiving league. You have game by game is like your last game. And as players are starting to come back into the team, Lavia will take that position.
Yeah.
And it will be Lavia in that midfield and it won't be you, and you'll be considered a flop. So I feel like there is a good player there. We've seen it before, but he just needs to literally kick on. I think it's for me right now, I'm looking at the mentality in terms of, not saying he hasn't got a good mentality, but he's probably overthinking more than what he needs to do. He needs to just go back to the way he was playing, which is being a conductor of the ball. I also feel like he's had chances to finish and he hasn't.
Yeah.
So it's like that 8. I mean, especially when it comes to Chelsea, when you look at an 8, you think of Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
What Frank Lampard done, always at the right place at the right time. And I think that is what probably he needs to work on a bit more.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think defensively, I don't think that's his strongest suit, but he can put a good tackle in and he can be a bit assertive. He's got a bit of temperament to him that you need in the Premier League. So I think his attitude has been great. I don't see him sulking. I don't see none of that stuff. So in terms of his mentality in that way, it's good, but we need more from him because other players,
quality. He's got quality.
Other players around you are showing what you need to do. So what he's lucky, and look, and when you mentioned Caicedo as well, I think when we're looking at Caicedo, we're thinking about Brighton days.
Yeah.
That was like a free-for-all team where everyone was singing from the same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
Whereas now with Chelsea, it's more structured. You see little patterns in midfield. Like they're very like transitional. Whereas with Brighton, they was just playing incredible football.
Yeah.
So I think with Enzo, new players that he's playing around, he just needs to find some time.
Yeah, like it's when you got the quality, it's always I'm always onto the people that have the most quality because when I'm watching Chelsea, I'm like, he should be the standout quality in this team. And yes, sometimes he can pull a nice pass or whatever, but it's like consistently? Is it going to be consistent? I think sometimes Enzo can do 1 or 2 passes, and it is similar to the Paul Pogba thing, in my opinion. Sometimes you worldy kind of pass, and it's like, ooh, that's it. You know, you're going to now rip up a clip. Somebody, a comp maker, is going to put it on Twitter, and he's going to look like he had a man of the match performance. But when you watched it, you're like, hold on. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't really do anything in that game. So I just think he needs to assert himself on games more and be that guy that's like, yes, I'm Chelsea's guy. Because after that Liverpool game, Jamie Carragher went on Sky and put him as the top 4 midfielder in the Premier League. I was like, when did he just jump the queue like this?
Do you know what is though?
I mean, this is insane.
I think sometimes with those performances, because we're used to a certain way, my brother. Because we're used to certain players doing that, and then kicking on and becoming one of the best midfield players in the Premier League. I think that's why Jamie probably said that. But he's underwhelmed himself. But then also, I think he's also a victim of how talented he can be. Had a great World Cup. So we're looking at that and thinking, no, there's definitely a player there. It's just
there is a player there.
It's just that he's probably having a hard time. I believe, like I said, this is the game for him to showcase his real ability against a Newcastle team that isn't really playing the best right now.
All right, prediction. Newcastle Chelsea.
I think that is going to be 2-0 to Chelsea.
2-0.
Yeah, I don't think that they have the firepower up front to Callum Wilson for me, and it's that they're the gunmen there.
I don't know if Callum Wilson's back.
If he is back, then he's there. Because for me, I think the only way that they score, correct me if we'll see when the game's on, is if they get a penalty. I think with Chelsea's back line here, especially against top teams, it's not easy to breach, you know. I think that Man City game was just a mazzoline. And then also the Tottenham game was just literally like, it's Tottenham. The way Tottenham play is aggressive. I don't see them playing the same way as that. So I would go over 2-0.
Even Shaw went down injured against Bournemouth. They might not even have any centre back.
Yeah, so I think it'll be 2-0.
You think it'll be 2-0?
Yeah, because they're not like a mad goal scoring team.
Yeah, they're saying Isak might be back for Chelsea, but bro, he's been out with a groin injury for a while.
If Isak's back, if they've got the strikers, then I'll say it'll be 2-1. But I still think Chelsea will win that game. I still think
Chelsea. I'm going with a 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah,
I'm going with a 2-1 Chelsea. I think Chelsea's going to. That Newcastle at home are peak, but I'm going to still go 2-1 Chelsea. Let's move on, bro. Let's move on to Manchester United.
Yes, sir.
United.
Angry Ginger would say.
Yeah, let's go to
when he's get Angry Ginger on the pod. All right, bro, I can't wait for that episode.
What?
Angry Ginger.
Yeah. I did something with him with JD.
He loves United.
He's like, where's Kevin De Bruyne's documentary?
Yeah.
Where's Kevin De Bruyne's documentary?
All right, Ginger, we're going to get you on there, man. We're going to get you on there. But yeah, Everton against United.
Everton United. Actually, just quickly, obviously, it's a game, so I don't want to skip it too much, but we won't go into it. Brentford, Arsenal.
Yes.
At Brentford. Away at Brentford at 5:30. Could be a tough one under the lights. What are you saying for that game? Obviously, it's not a blockbuster game or anything like that, so we don't need to go into it for too long. But Arsenal, again, they could be the big winners of this weekend. If they win, and Man City and Liverpool, one of them are going to drop points.
Yeah.
So this is a big weekend for Arsenal. Brentford away is not easy, though.
Yeah.
And Arsenal have shown that it's not been easy for them before. But that was maybe the old Arsenal. So what are you saying for that one?
I think Arsenal this season, what I've liked about them is that they haven't been as fluid as they have been last season.
Yeah.
They were last season, should I say. But they're showing the grit. And they're showing that determination that even when they're not playing the best and their star players ain't playing, they've always got someone who's going to be able to rescue them and score some goals. I said this previously about Saliba. I think his influence in that team is astronomical. I think also
Declan
Rice has been, for me personally, he's been my signing of the season just because of the stability that he's brought in that midfield as well.
Yeah.
He's allowed Odegaard, who hasn't played incredibly well, to still not probably be getting shunned so much because of the fact of what they're doing. Thomas Partey hasn't been playing, so he's really made that position his own as well. And I think with Saka and Martinelli, they haven't been firing as we.
Martinelli has one Premier League goal this season,
still,
and it was a deflected goal versus Man City.
I believe about the eye test. Now, I've also had my doubts about him. I said on 5 about Martinelli. I think he just runs with his head down, but I do think that when you watch Martinelli play, he is a live wire in the way he plays. He's a very attacking player, and sometimes, that allows defenders to make mistakes that then create chances for him and for the team as well. I think it's still early in the season. I think Gabriel Jesus hasn't, been playing as much.
He's
games.
fit now, though.
He's fit now. I saw him doing a bicycle kick from Brazil, and not a lot of the Arsenal fans were happy about that. And Nketiah has been doing his job as well. So they are slowly getting to where they need to get to. But I'm really, really enjoying the way that they're winning with that mentality that it's not always about playing pretty. It's about getting the result. So Brentford also, they are a very they're a tricky team, good team,
man.
They've got great players. And I think, obviously, at their ground, it will probably be in their favour to probably the crowd will play a big part into it. But I just think Arsenal have more.
There's heartbreaking news, though.
What?
Breaking news that I've just searched.
What?
Nathan Collins is out for the game.
Can we get a moment of silence for Nathan Collins' injury? Conor Gallagher getting injured though, love. But anyway, so look, yeah, that's probably going to be a big problem because he's been good for him. Him and
Pinnock are underrated partnership over there, man. So he's out because he got an injury, I think, on international break. So I think Arsenal are going to win this one, though. I think Arsenal are going to win this one. I agree with everything you just said about Arsenal. There's the solidity now. Declan Rice coming into there. Obviously, Saliba, that's a good core right there. Gabriel's complementary part of it as well. So I think they conceded the least goals with Liverpool. And the thing about them, to make it even more impressive, Liverpool have conceded the least goals, but on XG, they've actually... A lot of teams are getting high XG against Liverpool, whereas Arsenal, lowest in the Premier League.
Yeah, they're very good defensively, man. And that's not something we've ever associated Arsenal with over the last since Invincibles. I'm really, and I'm one of the most. If there's a number one Arsenal hater, it's me. But I can also say I respect what they're doing right now. It's for me. This is the type of Arsenal that can win the league. Yeah. If you look at all the Arsenal teams that have won before, yes, they've been incredible with the way they play.
They're solid,
but they've had Loren, they've had Tony Adams, they've had Sol Campbell, they've had Ashley Cole, they've had real solid defenders, and I think they've got that now. An honourable mention though to Ben White. I think you see with Ben White,
he's having a good season this year. I think he's been
you see with Ben White, he doesn't get the plaudits because he's not putting in crunching challenges.
Of course,
but when I watch him, I don't see him put faults wrong. Yes, he might misplace a pass or whatever, but when do you see him getting skinned? Like I think he's very important. I think that back line, is probably one of the most. It says it here, bro. It shows it here. It's one of the best in the league at the moment. So, Arsenal are doing really, really well. Man.
Prediction for that one, quick.
I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay.
2-1. No. I'm going to go 3-1 as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to say man of the match, Declan Rice.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1, man of the match, Saka. Okay. I'll go Saka. All right, cool. Back to United. Away at Everton, who have been deducted 10 points. You know what I mean?
Is it officially in play now?
It's officially in play. They're sitting 19th in the Barclays. Despite 3 wins in their last 5 games, they are 19th. That is crazy. But it's not as mad as it sounds. If they win against us, which we hope they don't, they're out of the relegation zone. The season resumes, you know what I'm saying? So it's maybe not as doom and gloom as it seems, but it's still bad for them and they're still going to appeal it. But what do you think about this one? Because obviously we know what Manchester United are like, but funny enough, do you know who the most informed team in the Barclays Premier League is?
Manchester United over the last 5 games have won
4. What? We won 4 of our last 5.
Yeah, bro, 12 points from 15.
That's crazy.
And sometimes the tabloid,
the performances
have been horrid.
And the only good team we played in that period, we lost. So we still have an issue against the better teams, but these are the games that Manchester United are finding themselves winning. An Everton, a Forest, Brentford, whatever. We're finding ourselves winning these type of games. So
I think we're the only team in the Premier League to not draw either.
No, we ain't. That's a fact. We haven't drawn a game in the whole season, by the way. Not even just in...
So either we win or we lose.
There's no middle ground at all. Man United are sitting 6th, Yeah. 6 points off Liverpool. Well, let's just say 7 points off the top of the table with -3 goal difference. Scored 13 and conceded 16. How the hell are we even... Those statistics... should make us at least 11th. With those statistics, obviously we win in some games 1-0 and stuff. Onana has conceded 16 goals. We have -3 goal difference. He's second for the Golden Glove. We are having the most random season.
It's such a it's an FM season.
Bro, we're keeping clean sheets, but then we're getting popped. But bro, it doesn't make this season is mind-boggling, bro. You can't even, and this is the thing, as United fans and stuff, we have to come up on here and people, now I always say don't look at me as a representation for Man United, but people do. And we have to come up on here and explain.
Man doesn't know.
How can you explain this, bro? No stat makes sense.
Also, I'll put a disclaimer out there. I do not represent Manchester United. I support them with all my heart. I go to every home game that I can, and I even travel to away games.
Running from the ground. What are you running from the ground for?
No, because what happens is, when I have my outbursts about my club, it's because I support the club.
Emotions.
My emotions will go wild. Just like what you guys say behind closed doors, I say it in front of you guys, innit? But I'll also give them their plaudits. That's just how I am. When I see my team doing well, give them their respect. I think McTominay for Scotland has been really well, and he's been rewarded really, really well as well.
Do you think, though, this is what happens with Man United, though? Like, a McTominay will show form, a Maguire will show form, but in the long run, that is not where we want to be, bro. We don't want to have to be relying on McTominay. We don't want to have to be relying on Maguire, two guys that were linked with moving out of Manchester United. So this is what happens. We stumble into someone that's going to galvanize us a little bit, and the next thing you know, it's just survival mode all season.
Yeah.
I still think, thank you, McTom, for a couple of them goals and stuff, but I still think Ten Hag needs to stick to whatever his image of this team is.
Can I ask you a question then? With his image of this team, the team that he started playing this season didn't feature McTominay.
Yes.
It didn't feature Maguire. And that team didn't get us to where we wanted to. That team got us battered. So if the players that are playing right now are doing well, shouldn't we just stick with what's working?
But don't you think we did this last season? Do you remember when Casemiro signed and we went on a 4-game winning streak and Casemiro wasn't playing, right? And everyone was like, well, McTominay is playing well. You can't drop him. You can't do nothing. Then we went to Etihad and conceded 6, and then Casemiro played the next game. I was always at that point saying, at no point should Casemiro be on the bench for McTominay. I'm sorry, 4 games win streak, whatever. Thanks for that, mate. But let's get the quality in, because long term, you need the quality to be settled and get into the team. And that's how you're going to get a long-term results. These short-term results, all right, cool. And it didn't work. We had to wait until we conceded 6 to drop McTominay. And I don't want that to be the case again. Like, all right, McTominay's scoring goals and Maguire's doing his thing. I'm going to give him that. But McTominay's scoring goals, whatever. And then, let's just wait until our next loss to drop McTominay. I don't like that. I
haven't looked at McTominay's performances over the last 5 games and thought, this is a fluke. I think McTominay has always been a very good passionate merchant. I think he always tries. Maybe against other players that are better than him, you can see the difference in quality. But what I want for Manchester United players is players that are going to give it all and actually believe in the manager and try their best. And I think the players that Ten Hag has been selecting are those players. Now, there's certain players that, for me, like Luke Shaw being back in the team now, for me, I think is going to be a very, very important, because Luke Shaw, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof, they're 4 players that when they play together, they always try. Now, Varane, for me, yes, he has been one of the best players in the world. But for Man United, I think it's been underwhelming, especially this season. Maybe last season he was good, him and Lissandro, but it feels like with Ten Hag, he's seeing the players that actually want to play for him. And those are the players that are coming out and supporting him, like Garnacho. That's why he's picking Garnacho. That's why, these type of players are playing. Sofian Amrabat, now he hasn't had the best start, but whenever he plays, he's playing for the badge. So that's what we need right now. And then as time goes on, obviously we are hoping that, Sir Jim can sign. But it is literally about who is playing and who's going to continue playing for the badge. Because, bro, you can bring all the players that should be playing because of their quality. But when they play, and Varane looks like he's uninterested now. And I don't want that. I do not want that in my club. So for me, I think against the Everton team, who have just received a deduction, this could be a very difficult game.
It's tough. It's time to play them.
Because like when that new manager gets
point deduction bounce.
They're like, we got to fight.
Yeah. They all wild against us,
So for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm singing their praise right now. But I don't want to see lapse in concentration,
Bro,
because that's why our season looks the way it looks.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough game. The Guardian have said that a section of Man United players believe the poor start to the season is down to Ten Hag overworking the squad in pre-season. Now, Man United, I don't know if it's down to Ten Hag, but there was already complaints that Man United had 8 friendlies, 4 in Norway, 1 in Scotland, 1 in England and Ireland. And then they also had trips in USA in New Jersey, San Diego, Houston, and Las Vegas. So there was too much traveling. I remember Ericsson said this preseason is weird because we're just traveling all the time. It's too much. So, and you can see that in our form in preseason. The performances were poor. We looked leggy, and it carried on into the season. So maybe that could be a part of it, but it sounds like there's a lot of excuses that come out of Man United.
That's what it sounds like to me.
One, Luke Shaw is back in training. He's in contention to play. Onana should be fit despite he coming off for Cameroon. Haaland is in contention to play. I don't know if he's at training because the pictures literally just dropped now. So when it comes out, you guys will know. But one that I want to talk about, Kobbie Mainoo's now fit. He's fit now. He's had 2 weeks international break, not playing. He's fit. He's come back. He's been on the bench the whole time. He's played under 19 games, under 21, running them games. Is it time to start blooding Kobbie Mainoo into the team? Now, again, I do not want him to be seen as the savior of Man United, but he can contribute. I don't care what age you are. If you're old, if you're good enough, you're old enough, as they say. We're seeing Yamal contribute into
Barcelona.
He's 16. You know what I'm trying to say? So can Kobbie Mainoo come into this team now and start helping us this year? Because look, the injuries are piling up. We're going to need to rely on some of our youth players as well. So that's an interesting one. Quickly though, you mentioned Sir Jim a little bit. I ain't heard your opinion on Sir Jim's takeover.
Yeah, so for me,
are you optimistic or are you?
I have to be, man. I think whenever we're talking about acquisition happening at Manchester United, we have to be very, very optimistic. I think, obviously, you know what I wanted. I wanted the Qatari because I felt like that was going to just change the whole shape of the club. PTSD about that. But when I look at Sir Jim, it's 25% acquisition of footballing activities of the club. And I think that is what I've been saying for the longest, is what we need to change. I think the way our footballing the organisation of our footballing activities have been run over the last 15 years, I think have been really, really bad in comparison to the better teams. Yeah, I think Paul Mitchell, we know what he's done at Southampton.
That's not 100%, by the way.
Yeah, but okay, even if it's rumours, but if he's someone that's going to be part of the club, then I think that's great. So of course I am. I think obviously they're supposed to be announced today, and they're saying it's going to be announced Monday or whatever it is. It's always a delay with the club, but if Sir Jim wants to change the footballing ideas of the club, I think that's a good step. Yeah, because that's something that every fan has always wanted. You look at all the other teams. Edu just won an award for sporting director. You're looking at like what Pep talks about. They've got them people there that's running the club and doing what they need to do. So that's what we need. Because then it takes the pressure off Ten Hag. Ten Hag shouldn't be going to go and find these players. That's what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. And I feel like things have changed right now. There's more jobs.
It's a different era.
It's a different era. So yes, I'm confident. I do hope that he has full control over that, and it's not the Glazers.
Are we back?
Like the opposite of my chest.
Are we back?
Like the opposite of my chest. No, I'm joking. You know what? I do these things. I get clipped. I look like the mug. So I'm not going to say anything. But we're back. No. We're back.
Yeah. But Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Jim, imminent 25% investment. He says, I am still a director of the club. Now, let me pause right there, right?
Okay. What have you got to say about my granddad?
Bro, Sir Alex, please rest.
No, I can't lie to you. They lifted him up the other day when his horse won, and I said, hey, easy on granddad.
Fam, easy. Sir Alex, rest. I'm a director of the club. Bro, stop having any input in footballing decisions. It's a different era. Listen, I love Fergie, bro. I love the connection with him and David Gill. It's a different era, bro. Like, why? Now, it sounds crazy. Like, why? I'm gonna say why we seeking Ferguson's advice, because of course he's one of the greatest managers of all time. But bro, this the way he ran the club is different. All right, if you want an opinion on, do you think this youth player is good? Oh yeah, I'll go to Ferguson for that. Yeah, I'm just saying. But running of a football club now,
I just think it's a title. I don't think he's actually doing it.
But they even said Sir Jim's gonna seek advice from because thingy. And he's putting through.
But you know what it is though?
Friedman.
No.
He's putting in Crystal.
That's
Friedman
that's TalkSport and the Daily Mirror.
Friedman, bro.
Doing their banter. Look. I think we see with Fergie, because he is Mr. Manchester United. Sir Matt Busby was before, and it's Sir Alex Ferguson, and we haven't got anyone else in the last 10 years that has got that level of clout.
But you should just take a step back.
Yeah, but he loves the club. He loves the club, man. Sir Alex Ferguson has just lost his wife.
The guy.
He's just lost his wife.
Come to every game if you want.
This is his second love. Before Kathy. Yeah. God rest her soul. So my point is, look, this is what he loves. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you're 70 years of age,
yes,
are you not gonna still be loving Manchester United?
I will.
So think about someone.
I will not be out here trying to influence footballing decisions, bro.
All right, cool. So when you have your kid and your kid has their kid, are you not gonna be talking to your son about the game and the way you sold, bro? Let him do his thing, fam. Let him talk about it,
bro. But I would not be telling my son, you know what, you need to get this nutritionist for. I'm not gonna be there because the time's gonna be different.
No, I hear you. In that regard, yes, I get you.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, seeking advice. Do you think this guy's a baller? Do you think this guy? How do you think we should, handle this contract? Maybe like, what did you used to do to keep them grounded?
Advice, yes.
Perfect.
So should we change his role to advisor?
Please, technical advisor.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? Director, where you're now having influence in my manager being appointed. You're having influence in sporting directors. Come on, man. You had the opportunity. You hired David Moyes. Fergie, thank you very much, mate. Just sit back. We love you. We love you. Just come and enjoy Manchester United, man. Just enjoy, bro. Yeah, I'm just saying. But we'll end it on that note.
Yes.
Prediction quickly. I'm going for a nasty, gritty 1-0 Man United.
I also believe that. I don't think we're going to start that game off with them. I'm going to be a bit more optimistic, and I'm going to say 2-0 Man United.
2-0 Man United. And there it is. I'll let you close out the show.
Yeah, guys, like I said in the beginning, we need you to like, we need you to comment and subscribe. Listen, it really, really helps us. Obviously, the episode that we dropped with Danny Simpson was really well, but we dropped it at the wrong time. So we want to apologize for that. And the lighting wasn't lighting. That's probably why it didn't do well.
Yeah, bro.
Probably couldn't see us.
Bro.
Yeah, probably couldn't see us. Probably just saw teeth. But guys, listen, if you're, have any thoughts about our predictions, let us know in the comments. And we'll be back next week. I've been Harry Pinero. That's been Culture Cams. See you next time, man. You're done now.